Hey guys, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. My name's Neil and it's time for another episode of QI. This one is another viewer request. It comes from the 9th series, Series I, Episode 7, and it's called Incomprehensible. Like most viewer requests, I don't know why it's been requested. I don't know who the guests are. I don't know if there's an iconic moment from the show that happened to happen in this particular episode. But it has been recommended and I haven't been steered wrong by you, the audience, yet. So let's check it out. If you guys do like these QI reactions, definitely let me know. I want to give you guys content that you're interested in. Let me know if there's a particular episode that you'd like me to check out. And if you do like what I'm doing here, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. Hit that bell so you don't miss my next reaction. Subscribe, leave a comment, and check out my Patreon. And let's jump into it, guys. This is episode 7 of Series I, and it is the XL version, so we get an extra 15 minutes of content. Aren't we lucky we found that? So yeah, here we go.
And welcome to QI, where tonight's show is completely and utterly incomprehensible. Venturing into the unknown with me tonight are, what's his name?
Ross Noble!
And, oh, you know...
Sue Perkins. I was blanking on her name for a second.
Oh, wait, no, don't tell me.
Oh, he's the scientist dude, Brian Cox. This is a good test for me.
Finally! No, I've never seen him before in my life.
Not a clue. Not a clue.
Sue goes.
Who did it, Dada?
Brian goes. Or Ross goes. Alan goes.
Plasma. Bose-Einstein. Spreading really up your square mile.
It's just him.
Wow.
Is that your internal dialogue?
I think so.
Nobody knows.
There are some questions to which no one knows the answer. Play your nobody knows joker and you'll get extra points. Now, listen to this and tell me what it means.
Okay, it's like a prairie dog
That's
warning.
irrelevant. Can you narrow it down?
Is it a prairie dog? Groundhog? A
The
pika?
astonishing thing is we do know what that means, in fact. There are zoologists who spend their life trying to understand communications of various species. Do you know what this species is?
The gopher.
It is a gopher, a prairie dog.
Prairie dog, sorry.
A prairie dog. It's also
That was
known
right
as
the
a
first
ground
time.
squirrel. It's a type of squirrel.
Isn't ground squirrel a condiment?
He's only making that face because he's got Philip Schofield's hand up his bum.
Oh, that takes me back a bit.
Is that what the squeaking noise, is it?
No, when I say that takes me back... He's used computer analysis and they're able to distinguish between different types of predator. Different geometric shapes, right? And different coloured shirts that humans are wearing. The noise we heard in Prairie Dog was, there is a human approaching wearing a yellow shirt.
Apparently, if a transvestite in tartan approaches, they explode.
Yes. Here's a similar clip, but translated into English.
Alan! 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 Alan!
I have seen this. The dubbed BBC.
Oh, it's not Alan. That's Steve.
Steve!
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 Steve! Steve!
Steve! Steve!
Great story. What did the Pope's librarian say when he first saw the rings around Saturn?
They initially thought the planet had ears.
Ah, yes.
That was Galileo.
Ears in the sense of jug ears, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's Galileo, who was sensible. He genuinely believed that it was possible that after Christ's ascension, the rings of Saturn were where he put his foreskin.
Ah, yes.
What?
They're 50,000 miles across.
They
Imagine
didn't
that size. This is how to interest teenagers in astronomy.
Catherine of Siena was one of the weirder of the saints. She believed that Christ gave her his foreskin as a wedding ring.
What?
She was an extreme anorexic, a peculiar woman. She also actively sought out degrading experiences. She once drank a cupful of cancerous pus from a woman who had abused
gross.
her. So naturally,
Has she appeared on Mock the Week?
A few people have told me to watch What Mock the Week, but I don't feel like I'm current enough with British news.
How were the rings around Saturn actually formed?
I'm going to play the card there.
You are right. You're a true scientist. There are two sort of major... Well done. Thank you. There's a Socratic acceptance of the limits of one's own knowledge, and there's ignorance. I'm not saying which is which.
They're held, the structures are held by the other moons. There are over 60 moons of Saturn.
Are they part of the rings or entirely separate from the rings?
Some of them are inside small moons called shepherd moons.
Quite
so it's a
big
very
moons,
complex...
life-carrying moons?
structure. Well, there's a moon called Enceladus, which is about as big as Britain. It's a very small moon. But it has fountains of ice rising up out of the surface. Everywhere on Earth that you find water, you find life.
Of all these moons, which one's most likely to be the home to EWOKS?
Would be,
Endor?
Yeah.
Titan,
Titan,
has got
yeah.
a thicker atmosphere than the Earth. So you'd need to be furry.
And Squatter.
Can you imagine spacemen follow penguins about?
How?
Well, they're supposed to track colonies.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And they found they could do it through space. But what's interesting is the activity of the penguin that is most revealing is...
How is it they're dropping?
it's how they poo.
Yeah, they stain the ice, don't they?
It's a streak. They leave a streak of feces
So a
behind.
spatter gun of,
Yeah.
of guano that's
Oh, wow.
visible
That,
from...
like that.
Oh,
That's kind
no,
of art.
don't tell me it's sat in the middle of it.
That's like painting yourself into a corner, really.
Yeah.
What's the main use for the second commonest gas in the universe?
Helium is for raising balloons. Helium is number 2. Hydrogen's number 1. Helium is number 2.
Hydrogen, I think, is the most common. I believe is the most abundant
Is it?
in the universe. It also...
Nitrogen.
No.
Helium.
Is it argon?
Helium is the right answer.
Helium filling balloons!
Ah, now.
devices.
Yeah, no. The reason is... What? Yeah. The question is... The demand for it has gone up in the last 10, 15 years, and it's
Because balloons are getting bigger.
Yeah.
not because party entertainment has become a bigger thing.
We use it for refrigeration.
Refrigeration. And there's a diagnostic device.
Or the MRI?
MRI is the right answer.
MRIs use helium.
They have to be that heavy, otherwise they just float off.
One of the offshoots of exploring particle physics, the world of the atoms, quantum mechanics, was the MRI scanner. And in fact, we use helium to cool down the LHC. My spell checker does that. Large Hadron Collider. It runs at minus 271 degrees, so 1.9 degrees above absolute zero.
Wow.
But the helium is the only substance that is liquid at those temperatures.
Those Swiss cowbells on the cows, when you turn it on, do they all run in a big circle?
So they go round 27 kilometres 11,000 times a second, and the cows would weigh, if we did that, 7,000 times more than they do
Ow,
when
my
they're stood
brain.
still.
This is no stuff like
I love
it's
it.
giving me an erection.
What, the
as I speak.
LHC?
Become a large hard-on colluder.
So, oh gosh, anyway, I must beat it down and we must carry on. So,
Beat down that large hard-on colluder.
when is the present?
Oh, I'm not going to...
Oh, this is how we observe the present,
Say
because
it.
Well, it's not
It's
really.
always like
It is a genuine
half a
insight.
second
I mean, there
behind where we
different
actually
ways of
are, because that's how
trying
long
to
it takes
describe
for us
what the
to
present might be. But let's talk
observe.
about the present in terms of archaeology.
Oh.
Acorns in the future.
Yeah, acorns.
Acorns in the
Did you not
past.
know that squirrels have the capacity to
travel.
time travel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the ground squirrels.
Archaeologists actually have an acronym, BP, which means before present. And they can date the present. It's an exact date, January the 1st, 1950. Certain techniques have enabled us to discover, I say us, I mean clever
Carbon
people.
dating.
Carbon
And
dating.
CO2 numbers have gone way up since.
We had so screwed up the atmosphere with nuclear testing that no carbon dating could be trusted after January the 1st, 1950.
Oh. So it's nuclear.
There's no such thing as a present moment which spans the universe, or indeed even the Earth. Richard Feynman had a theory, which was a legitimate theory, that there's only one electron in the universe. So we're all made of electrons.
Slowly, slowly. We are all made of what?
Do listen, this is good.
How do you spell electron?
The sun has
An
exploded.
English degree. See, all electrons are exactly the same. Perhaps there's only one in the universe, and it keeps moving backwards and forwards through time.
I've got a feeling that when you're late for a meeting, you're an absolute nightmare.
But time's arrow. I mean, I actually got my head around that a bit.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
you
you
don't
mean-
need maths if you think that everything's going forward, and as it does, it decays.
Yes.
All you need is an analogy to make that's pertinent to you. So in my case, all relationships, and then you realise, of course.
To make it statistically significant, though, you have to have an awful lot of relationships.
Oh, I do.
And light these candles here.
What's this all about?
And I'm going to distinguish them using an invisible gas. Not by liquid. Now watch. Okay,
Is it
I'm
like
not gonna
sulfur
pour the liquid
dioxide
onto
or
it.
something?
I'm just going to pour the gas onto here. And out go the candles.
Oh, I like that.
Because there are some gases that are much denser than air.
Tell me what was going on
Could that
there.
be carbon
Is it
dioxide?
magic?
It's not...
I mean, is it as simple as carbon
I think
dioxide?
it's carbon dioxide.
Yes,
Going in.
which is
Heavier than air.
heavier than air.
If you're ever tempted to carry liquid nitrogen in a lift, they don't let you carry it in lifts, because if you spill it, then you get nitrogen gas, and that's heavier than air, and it pushes all the oxygen to the top of the lift.
Oh,
so
people
that's why they
suffocate.
don't. Yes.
He came with this beautiful rose he just picked from the garden. And he just dipped the rose in like that for a second and then smashed it on the table, and it shattered like glass into 1,000 pieces. It was somehow staggeringly beautiful. The idea that you could... Isn't that lovely? Do you think that's gorgeous?
It's quite interesting.
We just have
I think you're humouring me.
No, I think it's a hilarious Valentine's Day prank.
The surface of Saturn's moon Titan, that's so cold that it's got
Oh, hang on, I
liquid
know
methane.
Titan.
Liquid
Titan's
methane
the one where
lakes.
the Ewoks live.
Yeah, that's why you need the fur.
So basically, you're saying you can shatter an Ewok.
Yes, because it's got lakes of liquid methane.
Wow.
Because it's so cold. You get rain, methane rain, you get methane snow, methane ice, and lakes of methane.
liquid fart.
Yes, exactly.
If I could stand on a planet and throw an Ewok into a lake of fart, that'd just be... that'd be like...
Smash it into
But
a
you
fart.
couldn't, because it'd shatter. So you wouldn't.
So, right, after this show finishes, I'm off. I don't care. You'll never see me again. Where is he? He's off tossing Ewoks again. Into his lake of
may
fart
well
on
be.
on a pedalo made of smoke.
Is liquid methane flammable in the same way that methane gas?
No, this could be one of the great questions on this show. No, but why?
Because there's no oxygen.
Yeah, no oxygen.
No
So-
oxygen.
So just fart.
You don't want to go there because you can't light your fire.
If you only have access to a Wookiee, you will need a bigger lake. That's just basic science. I can tell you that.
What variety of lettuce did they serve on board the Titanic?
Iceberg.
No. Take the hit. Take the hit for the team. Romaine.
The answer is we don't know.
How did they only have 700 lettuce? Because how many people were on
I don't
the
know,
Titanic?
maybe either they'd already eaten that much and that's how much was saved, or they just didn't order that. Maybe,
They
I think
saved
it's
the
sad-
lettuce, but not the people.
It was, hold the front page, 7,000 heads of lettuce.
One of the bloody things sank then. It was full of lettuce. Before they even started.
Lettuces float.
But
Well, why did it sink then?
where do you think the most valuable icebergs are? Not necessarily on Earth, but in our solar system. Oh. I'm thinking of Neptune or Uranus. No. No. It's thought that the crushing pressure might create oceans of liquid diamond filled with solid diamond icebergs.
On Uranus and Neptune?
What order do you give the helmsman if you want him to turn sharply left?
Hard
I
port.
think that's port.
Hard to port.
Left is port.
Right up until 1933, you gave the opposite command. And if you wanted to turn left, you would push the tiller right.
But on a jet ski, you turn left and right. So they must have rudders that go opposition.
Yeah, but they have a jet, don't they? Not a rudder. It's a jet
What,
ski.
the jet moves?
I think the jet moves.
Does it?
I think so. Yeah.
Brian, do you know?
I'd like you to fill in the gaps in these slogans for various places or institutions. We start with County Donegal's slogan. OK? Up here, it's...
Windy.
Green.
It really is windy.
What is that, like Northern
Different.
Ireland?
Different, it's different.
Okay.
Up here, it's different. That's Donegal's.
Okay, sure.
Welcome to Northamptonshire. Let yourself...
Down.
Leave.
Let yourself out.
grow.
Let's have
apparently.
grow.
Grow.
That is
Grow.
disgusting.
Let yourself go.
Welcome to Tower Hamlets. Let's make it...
Asbo week.
Out alive.
Let's make it out alive. Let's make it happen.
And then there was another slogan that said, "It did happen on Friday the 17th.
Yes.
If you witnessed it."
In 2007, the Scottish Parliament and the Tourist Board Scotland spent £125,000 on launching a new slogan. Welcome to...
The heart attack capital of Europe.
Got to be Scotland.
Welcome to...
Welcome to Scotland.
Scotland is the right answer. And Kentucky decided that they'd spend money on a new phrase for Kentucky. Now, there are two things, basically, that most Americans know Kentucky for. Horse racing, Kentucky
Bourbon.
Derby, and the other is bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
And they came up with a two-word phrase. It is genuinely
Drunk
genius.
horses.
And, no, unbridled spirit.
It's not finger-licking good, though, is it?
No, it isn't.
Oh, now I want KFC. Or rather, I want to smell KFC. KFC is one of those things, like, once you've tasted it, you're like,
I
oh,
am
yeah, not
actually
as good.
Kentucky Colonel. And in theory, I could be called up in defence of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, as it calls itself. I know. So there you are. You shall call me Colonel Fry from now on.
I have the key to the city of Port Pirie. I was doing a gig and I was talking to a bloke. Turned out he was the mayor. So I went, "Can I have the key to the city?" And he went, "Yeah, all right then." So I turned up, right? He got a shed key and a ribbon and went, "There you go."
I've just done voice for them, so that if you have TomTom or
No.
Garmin...
No.
You try and have a look.
so,
And it goes, turn
do-
left. Now, the interesting thing...
No, do
this-
be...
You know what? I'd take Stephen Fry as my, like, okay, Google voice. Oh, I'm sorry, I just turned on my phone.
As if you were talking to me. That's the worry.
Here's some information about voice.
You moron.
America's guest on the show.
Do it, yeah, you can record it. Left.
Yeah, it's telling me about The Voice.
The Nullarbor plane in Australia, the big,
That goes
long...
between Adelaide and Perth.
Yeah, the longest straight road in the world. It said, "Drive forward for 2 days." Then turn left. The stupid thing was, it was such a long road, I missed the left hand. If you took a sat-nav, like a normal domestic sat-nav, right, and put it in a space rocket, went up into space towards the satellite, what would happen?
I'm
Very
not
good.
sure
That
that
is
that...
exactly the kind of thought experiment that Einstein liked to do, isn't it?
Yeah, me and Einstein like that.
Anyway, listen. What's the definition of a galaxy?
Oh.
I'm going to make it.
Dada.
Yes!
Whoa! Well done,
You're
Sue.
right.
In that image, the Hubble Deep Field image, this year the most distant galaxy ever discovered was found in that photograph. And it's 13.2 billion light years away.
The further away you look, the further towards the birth of the universe you're looking.
Yeah.
But how do we know which direction to look? Did it begin over there or did it begin over there?
Oh, no, it began here. So the Big Bang happened here and every point in space.
What?
Because the picture is that space and time began at that point.
Oh, this is
It's been
hard.
stretching ever since. So all of space.
I
and
should have
all of
watched
time.
this before
so the
Tenet.
Big Bang happened everywhere.
So, name an insect that spins a web.
Not a spider, because they aren't insects.
Spiders.
No, they're not insects.
It's an arachnid.
The difference is the pedantry of biologists.
It is,
They
you're
are.
right. Scientists have implanted the silk-producing gene from spiders into goats.
Into goat milk,
When the
right.
goats lactate,
Yeah.
their milk contains silk.
And it's a nightmare if you've ever been caught in a goat web.
They keep giving, goats.
Just put the back legs in your wellies.
Yeah. And finally, the scores. Sue Perkins with -17.
Golf clap.
With -6, Ross Noble. On +2, Alan Davies. On +5, it's Professor Brian Cox. Good night.
It should be abundantly clear by now, guys, that A, I love this show, and B, I'm a nerd, and I'm sure the two will correlate. I have so much fun just like learning new facts and hearing an intelligent, interesting, funny conversation. I really could just have this always playing in the background. Like if there was QI radio, I would be all over that. You know, just listening to interesting conversation from smart people. I love when there is a specialist in the field like Brian Cox, you know, people that are able to translate some pretty challenging theories into understandable formats without either talking down to the audience or oversimplifying, you know, and that's always a tough balance, you know, like I like learning something new, and I've some basic understanding of relativity and the Big Bang and stuff, but I inevitably learn new things too when listening to something like this, and I love being a sponge for that. I will remember bits from this 20 years from now without ever remembering where I learned it necessarily, but you know, I will remember that if you throw an Ewok into a lake of methane on Titan, it will shatter. Like, how will you forget that? And that you can't light that liquid methane on Titan because there's no oxygen to support combustion. Fun episode. Thank you to whoever recommended it to me. I wonder if people are recommending me the ones where Alan Davies does surprisingly well, because that's the second one in a row I've seen where he comes second with a positive score. A lot of fun. Thank you guys. Again, if there's other episodes you want to see me react to, let me know in the comments below. I will check them all out eventually. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.